Hey everyone. So, what I wanted to share with you guys today is probably one of the most dystopian kind of stories I've seen in quite a while. And I don't use the term dystopian lightly. So what we have here is Chris Hayes, who is a reporter for MSNBC. And let me just say that Chris Hayes is not someone I find very interesting whatsoever. I mean, he's literally just a run of the mill, supports establishment Democrats 100% of the time. He's going to be anti-Trump 100% of the time. You know, he's not going to be principled about his opinions. He's not going to be very nuanced about his opinions. Establishment Dems good, Trump bad. That's the majority of his coverage. But recently he decided to step a little out of line for what is normally considered news at MSNBC. He did a story where he reported on the allegations against Joe Biden from Tara Reid. And so what I wanted to play from you guys is the clip of him talking about these allegations. And then what I want to talk about is the uproar that followed this mild clip. This is probably as mild as you can get talking about these allegations. So let me play it for you guys.
I think for many of us, all of us, when we have heard about accusations against someone that we find ourselves desperately wanting not to believe, whether that is because we have some personal admiration for the individual or their work, or political admiration, someone on our quote-unquote side. But part of the difficult lesson of the Me Too era is not that every accusation is true and everything should be believed on its face, but that you do have to fight yourself when you feel that impulse. You have to do that in order to take seriously what is being alleged and what the evidence is and to evaluate it. And that is the case with the accusation by a woman named Tara Reid against Joe Biden. Reid briefly worked as a Senate aide in Biden's office in the early 90s. Last year, she told a California newspaper that in 1993, Joe Biden, quote, touched her several times, making her feel uncomfortable. Now, at that time, Reid was one of several women who came forward around that moment with accusations against the former vice president of inappropriate sort of over physicalness, touching, kissing, or hugging that they say made them feel uncomfortable. Then last month, she made a much more serious allegation, telling first a podcast and later the New York Times that in 1993, Joe Biden pinned her to a wall in the Senate building, reached under her clothing, and penetrated her with his fingers. Reid told the Times that she filed a complaint with the Senate that same year about what happened with Biden. Quote, she said she did not have a copy of it and such paperwork has not been located. Now, Reid also said she complained to Biden's executive assistant, as well as to two top aides about harassment by Mr. Biden, not mentioning the alleged assault. All three of those people who were interviewed by the Times deny having a memory of a complaint. A spokeswoman for Joe Biden says the allegation is false, and they have strongly denied it. This week, there was also a new development in the story, and that is that Tara Reid's former neighbor at the time went on the record with her name, telling Business Insider that in 1995 or 1996, a few years after this, that Reid told her she had been assaulted by Biden. NBC News reached out to Reid's neighbor, who later confirmed by text message the story. This on-the-record reporting from a neighbor, a roughly contemporaneous relaying of the story, has rightly occasioned a new round of coverage and scrutiny, while also creating some serious tension within the progressive coalition.
All right, so that pretty much is the good portion of the clip. And so let me just say that I'm not sure that you can do that clip, like a clip about Joe Biden and these allegations against him, and not be more generous to Joe Biden while still presenting all of the relevant information than what Chris Hayes just did. Like, Chris Hayes was not anti Joe Biden at any point in that clip. He was very almost begrudgingly doing this segment, like that he didn't want to talk about it, but he felt compelled to because it was news. But he was super generous to Biden in his tone, in his phrasing, in the way that he spoke about this allegation. He was very generous. People were furious at Chris Hayes for doing this segment, and that is so bizarre to me because people are mad, and they're mad at Chris Hayes for just talking about this, for just talking about the assault allegation against Joe Biden, which is like, I mean, they are mad at a newscaster on a news network talking about the news. That is where we are at right now. Because what was trending on Twitter all day today was hashtag fire Chris Hayes. They wanted Chris Hayes to lose his job with MSNBC because he so much as spoke about these allegations against Biden and gave the relevant information. Like, he didn't just dismiss them like, oh, Tara Reid's a liar. Like, he gave the relevant information, the evidence that corroborates with what Tara Reid has been saying. He presents that information in what I still would consider a pretty generous way towards Joe Biden. And people wanted him to lose his job over that. That is where we are at right now in our politics, where you can't even, like, people are so hashtag blue no matter who, hashtag Trump derangement syndrome, all of these, like, things where, like, our side good, other side bad, policy, substance, none of that matters. It is purely a my side is good kind of game. And that is so dystopian to me, that this idea that, like, he can't talk about the news. Like, this is a news story. Tara Reid's allegation is a news story, and he was talking about it, and they wanted him fired over it. And it also brings me over, so this is MSNBC, but CNN, so the recent video that surfaced of Tara Reid's mom calling into Larry King and discussing what happened to her daughter, that was from many years ago, but it was in CNN's archive footage. Like, that video was in their archive footage. Then it resurfaced recently. CNN has gone back and deleted that from their archive and then renumbered the videos like it never existed. They basically tried to wipe it, like, oh, that didn't come from us. They like erased it. That is a dystopian thing to do. Like, that is so terrifying that this is the state of our politics right now, where everyone is just so partisan and just so uncaring about, like, actual substance and reality, that they're willing to just erase certain footage, or they're willing to fire someone who just dares just speak about the facts. Like, he wasn't giving his opinion there. He didn't. I mean, if he gave his opinion, it sounded like he would agree with Joe Biden, like he believes Joe Biden. He was just talking about the fact that it happened, and people wanted him fired, which shows that they don't want MSNBC to be a news network. They want MSNBC to be a Democrat establishment propaganda network. That is what they want MSNBC to be, and probably CNN too, and probably every news station if they could get it there. Like, we need, so this is where I draw a very clear distinction between progressives, like real progressives that believe in policy, that believe in progressive ideas and progressive substance, and these neoliberal establishment Democrat centrist partisan hacks that also exist under the same Democratic Party as progressives. And it's just I think AOC said it best when she said, in a perfect, in a just kind of political society, her and Joe Biden wouldn't be in the same political party. And just like I stuff like this makes me, like, not want to, like, be in the same party necessarily as these people who don't want facts. They don't want truth. They just want people to conform to what they want to believe, and they want propaganda. They want why Biden is so good. They don't care about, like, what actually Biden has done, what he's actually said, who's right on the issues, who's wrong on the issues. They just want propaganda. And that's really scary, that there is, like, a hunger for that out there. I don't think that it's large, but it definitely exists, and it's something that we need to be aware of. I really think that it's something we need to look out for, because when they're coming after Chris Hayes, like, I mean, Chris Hayes is as centrist, as partisan as it comes. Like, he is a Democratic establishment talking head. Like, that is what he does. But they're coming after him for just even bringing this up. And so they have no shame. They will delete stuff from their bios. Alyssa Milano deleted Me Too from her bio. They will erase footage. They will do whatever it takes. They will be as hypocritical as possible. They don't care. They do not care. And this is what the left is up against. We have to deal with the right, and we also have to deal with this neoliberal Democratic establishment. We have to deal with it all. And we can. We definitely can deal about it. I'm not pessimistic about the future, but I am realistic about the future and what we need to deal with. And as you know, as much as Donald Trump is an issue, this is also a very big issue. You definitely would argue that Donald Trump is a larger issue, but this is still a very, very big issue we all need to be aware of. If you guys disagreed with anything I said in this video, please leave a comment down below. But if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and have a great day.